Folks, welcome to an all new episode of So Bad It's Good. This is your pal Ryan, and this is your Tuesday episode. How the heck is everybody doing? It is Thanksgiving week. I am in New York. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can see that my sinuses are starting to act up. It happens when I travel, so I have like red eyes. And don't worry, I've ordered a new light to attach to my computer because I forgot the plug for it's all business stuff that you don't care about, but I'll stop looking like a bright red tomato on YouTube hopefully by tomorrow. I think the package comes, so we'll be good. I hope you guys are having a good start to your week. Sophie started our week off right. We also did a Bravo Fan Fest boots on the ground recap, so started off strong. And today we have I think a fantastic episode. I got to talk to Abe Leashy, who is Aaron Leashy's husband from Real Housewives of New York. They have a new mezcal that they just released called Mezcaloom. They talk about it on the show, but we talk all about that. We talk about Roni. We talk about life. We talk about Bitcoin. We talk about jam bands. This dude is, listen, I fell in love with this guy. I knew I would. He did not disappoint. We just had a really good conversation. I think this guy is a class act. I think you guys will feel the same. And I want to drink mezcal with you guys. I want to drink mezcal with Abe, and then I want to drink mezcal with you guys. And I'll tell you at the top of the show, if you go to his Mezcaloom website, which I'll put that in the show notes, if you use the code SOGOOD, you'll get 15% off a bottle. 15% off a bottle for mezcal tequila. I can't wait to get my bottle. So that's, he extended that right off the bat, and I was like, no way. So I'm passing those savings directly on to you guys. Listen, I wish we were just talking to Abe today, but we had a big day in Bravo news, a big old day. So if you want to skip right to Abe, use the timestamp, no skin off my back, but we've got to talk about a couple of things before that. Now, listen, I'm not on I'm kind of on vacation here for Thanksgiving, and I was hoping it was going to be a slow news day, but it's never a slow news day with Bravo, and that is because we got the announcement today, out of nowhere, nearly 2 years after they opened, only 2 years, and by they I mean Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval, have revealed that they are closing operations on Schwartz and Sandy's. What's up, dude? No. Man, you know your brand is strong when all of a sudden this drops, and I get text messages, DMs, emails. People were reaching out overseas. People were reaching out. Have you heard the news? How are you doing? Listen, it's complicated. I'm going through a lot of emotions right now about this. I would love... Gosh, I don't know. I overall kind of feel bad. It sucks when anything closes down, right? It sucks. And it also shows you sometimes the consequences of your actions, right? We're going to joke about this in a second, but overall, it's really sad, man. So much money and so much of their personal money was put into this. We know that, Tom's own mother lent him like $250,000, which I saw that comment so much today. Is he going to pay his mom back? Listen, man, I don't know. Hopefully they'll be able to sell the liquor license or be able to make money off the back end in some ways. And, like I said, it is the consequences of your own actions. There were so many things stacked against Schwartz and Sandy's already because with Sir and any other surrounding Vanderpump economy business, it's all located on that strip, right? You had Sir, and then you had Pump, and Pump is now closed, but you had Tom Tom, and then Something About Her, the sandwich shop, was right in between Sir and Tom Tom, and then Brittany's new bar, it's Brittany's new bar, that's attached to Rocco's, which is just a stone's throw away from Tom Tom. So it's so easy. It's like visiting Disneyland and California Adventure on the same trip. You can just stumble from bar to bar like you're in New Orleans, right? But with Schwartz and Sandy's, it's a little different. Now, those of you that are not from Los Angeles, Sir and that whole area is West Hollywood, right? So Schwartz and Sandy's was more in Los Angeles area. It's a really cool strip. You have Upright Citizens Brigade, which is an improv theater. You have La Poubelle, which is a really kind of cool little French restaurant, kind of cool bar. You have a really great, shop where you can get like really awesome beers and cheeses. I think you have a Gelson's right there. But they were in the strip mall area where you cannot see it on the main drag, going past all of those other places. So that was hard. Now with reality TV shows and Abe, who we have on today, when you're launching a product and you're having Bravo involved in some sense, there's so many benefits of that, right? It is name recognition. It is advertisement right out of the gate. And the unfortunate thing was they opened this and, Mr. Sandoval obviously was knee deep, balls deep into an affair with the artist formerly known as Raquel Rachel Leviss, right? So he opened that and that affair was going on. And the thing was, Tom was, I believe, I don't want to speak for him, thinking that he was in love or lust or whatever all of those emotions was. And he was not thinking with his business head and realizing that he was putting his own money, he was putting his friends' money, and he was putting everybody that worked there's money in jeopardy, right? He put all of that in jeopardy. And I don't know, as Schwartz says, he got lost in the sauce. Sometimes when we have these strong emotions, we do not think correctly at all. And you're like, no, everything's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. And we've seen Sandoval through the course of 11 plus seasons on Vanderpump Rules, where we kind of know that he gets really excited and he dreams big. And I mean, the Sandoval of it all obviously affected that business. I did think they were going to pull through though. And, Victoria Robinson, Tom's new girlfriend, who he just moved in with, even said in the comments today, because we're going to read some Instagram comments and Instagram posts in a second, was saying that they did actually better business after Sandoval, which I thought, name recognition, even, that's the funny thing, you guys. There are people that are popular out there or places that do bang up business that you don't, that aren't great people, that aren't the best business, but you go because you think it's a place to go. I always felt weird stepping into Schwartz and Sandy's after the whole thing went down. I went one time directly after Sandoval because one of my friends at the Washington Post was writing an article and they wanted to take me there to have a drink. And I not that they would know who I am, but I felt like I needed to dress up like Inspector Gadget or like incognito. I was so nervous. And then I don't know, it wasn't, I remember, and I told you guys this, their manager reached out to me to potentially host a live podcast from Schwartz and Sandy's. And I thought, man, that would be cool if I could do, I've always wanted to do live events, but it just, something didn't sit right with me, unfortunately. And I thought, time heals everything, right? How I think about something last year is different than how I think about it now, and it's going to be different how I think about it a year from now. And I did think that they were going to at least be able to hang on another year. But this is why it also sucks that it's taken so long for Vanderpump Rules to go into a new season, right? Because it directly affects their businesses as well. Because even something about her, which is doing, I believe, bang up business still, it would be doing even better potentially if the show was on, because you are getting commercial airtime on a major cable network. So even Schwartz and Sandy's, and I think the scandal of it all, once it broke, their other manager partner, Greg, who we saw a couple of seasons ago, remember, he really didn't like the boys. Well, once Sandoval broke, I think they lay down a hard and fast rule that you cannot do storylines out of Schwartz and Sandy's, because they were in, or I believe Greg and Schwartz and other people involved believe that they were in a, F the reality show. We're trying to do a business. We're trying to keep this going past the reality show. So all hands on deck. We're not going to make this ground zero for Sandoval. We're not going to make this a place where people come to see just where Sandoval kind of started or was birthed or whatever, right? So I really did think they were going to hang on. Obviously, they did not. And this is just, I feel bad for all the people involved, including Tom Sandoval. That's right, including Tom Sandoval. Hopefully he learned something from this, but I was thinking about this all day today, because, this was also what they were hoping to do is not even just spin this off, but also becoming like restaurateurs and bar owners and open up other things. And, a teacher of mine always said, dare to suck, fail often because, you learn from your mistakes. But that's really hard when you fail, not this spectacularly, but fail this publicly because of the reality show. Reality shows are that two-way street. When it's going good and everybody loves you, it's awesome. But when everybody starts disliking you or you do something that causes everybody to dislike you, it starts like really hurting, I imagine, in a way different way. And it affects the bottom line. I mean, when I was there, I remember that I was there for the first, I think it was the first opening night party when they did the Daily Mail event back in the day. And I told you guys all about this after I went, because I went and then came home and recorded. I have, man, it's wild. I have footage of Schwartz and Sandoval turning on the Schwartz and Sandy's neon sign for the first time. And this is pre-Sandoval. And I just remember being so proud of those dudes. And I'm sure a lot of, their friends and family were proud, but I was like, wow, they did it. They did it. And that was my big thing with Sandoval, right? Because he was this guy that, had these crazy big dreams and people kind of made fun of him for that, but he still went ahead and pushed on and did it. Like, hey man, I'm going to do a lot of cover songs with like a 30-piece band. A lot of people made fun of that, but he went out and did it. And I thought that's different than other people. Unfortunately, like I said, he got really messed up along the way and really caused what we now call a scandal. So let's read some of their posts and see what we can make of theirs. Let's go with Tom Sandoval's first, and I will be doing my Tom Sandoval voice. Listen, it's just by rote right now. Okay. Dudes, with a heavy heart, we've made the difficult decision to close Schwartz and Sandy's at the end of December. This hasn't been an easy choice for my partners and me, but other priorities and commitments have taken hold. What does that mean? Like, we're touring Japan with the band, dude. Traders 2 press launch. No, he says, while this business venture has been an incredible stepping stone in my life, one I will always cherish, I look forward to exciting new endeavors. To our incredible staff and everyone who supported us along the way, you deserve the true recognition. I can't thank you enough for your endless commitment to making Schwartz and Sandy's a place of everlasting memories. We'll be hosting a series of events and have availability to host others leading up to our closing night. The allure of being associated with reality TV has hidden what is an amazing spot and location for LA locals as well. I highly recommend you check us out, especially if you haven't yet. Let's get together one last time, Sandoval. So that was Sandoval's IG post. It's like a breakup post in a sense. And we've seen a couple of Sandoval's breakup posts these last couple of years, or kind of apology posts. God, he really missed an opportunity to end it with, these still are the best days of our lives. Like, raise a glass. He could have ended it, we're going to raise one more glass. We just missed a golden opportunity there. I can only imagine. You remember when Sandoval was doing his diary entries on this past season? Dear diary, dude. Oh, horrible day, dude. We're closing up shop. It turns out my ding-a-ling got me into so much trouble that we have to close Schwartz and Sandy's. My mom's gonna kill me. Oh man, Schwartz is barely talking to me. Who would have ever thought that Jack Taylor would have a bar open longer than I did? This is insane. Well, now is the time to fully commit to rocking the suburbs. Music is fully taking hold 24/7 because I don't know if Vanderpump Rules is genuinely coming back. And I don't think I did that well on this season of The Traders. We'll see, though. Anyways, keep it cool, diary. Love you. Happy Thanksgiving, Tom. So that's Tom's, maybe his journal entry, what he would write. Now, Tom Schwartz also wrote an Instagram. I mean, Instagram posts were flowing hot and heavy today in regards to this. Tom Schwartz says, there's no easy way to say this, but after careful consideration, Greg, Tom, and I made the decision to close Schwartz and Sandy's by the end of the year. This was not an easy conclusion. So this is our farewell tour. How did Tom Schwartz even committed to the bit more than Sandoval with tour? Let Tom and I host your holiday parties, birthdays, even a funeral for your lizard. Rest in peace, dog. Now, see, already Schwartz's goodbye Instagram post is so much better than Sandoval's. He did the tour thing already. He made a plea to, come on, let me host your funeral. And he shouted out his lizard dog. Remember Dog, D-A-U-G? It was in that horrendous season of Vanderpump Rules, and they did a funeral scene for Dog the lizard. And I was like, they always had that jump the shark moment. They always say when a TV show jumps the shark, which is based off of the old show Happy Days, when they had Fonzie, played by Henry Winkler, actually jump a shark. And it was the most ridiculous episode of Happy Days ever, I guess. Well, I always change it to, jump the dog. Jump the dog. D-A-U-G. Anyways, it continues. It's a celebration so many of us working here have poured our hearts into over the last few years. Let's end this era on a high note and come on by, bring your friends, toast to the upcoming holidays, and let's manifest together a kick-ass new year. There is some peace in knowing I gave my absolute all into Schwartz and Sandy's, fully committed with every fiber in my being. To all the patrons who came in and supported us, showed me love every single night I was in there. You kept me going through some of the harder times. We got to celebrate so many meaningful moments, birthdays, honeymoons, promotional events. The list goes on. Just know we are so grateful. Sharing your magic with us has been a true honor. To our incredible staff who are like family to us, our friends, and the many fans who have showed your support, we are forever indebted to you. Indebted. Franklin Village is a magical place. Much love, Tom. And he put a bunch of photos and a slideshow of, the amazing decor at Schwartz and Sandy's. And I will say, for Tom Schwartz, I think if anything, just from a very, very outsider perspective, is that he himself should be very proud of this, because when Sandoval hit, I saw that dude, or even heard about that dude just from my own personal friends, really step up. The dude was like there all the time. He was taking half shots with people. He was doing what you want an owner to do. He was there all the time. He was there when Sandoval couldn't be there and was asked not to be there. This guy really put a lot of time and effort into this. And if you study the deep lore of Vanderpump Rules, you'll remember that Lisa Vanderpump, she wouldn't even hire him as a bartender at Sir. She was like, no, it's too crazy. I can't. So to see Tom Schwartz step up in this way, I think there are probably parts of this. I mean, he's lost a lot of money, but there are parts of this that I'm sure he impressed himself because this dude actually stepped up. I'll be curious to see if they have any plans. Obviously, there will probably be no more plans to open up anything together except for club appearances. And they'll probably throw Jax in there for good measure. But that was my thing today, is like, what kind of fucking lopsided world do we live in that Jax's saloon is still open and Schwartz and Sandy's is closing? Now, the obvious answer to this is, remember, Jax doesn't run his saloon. He's the face of his saloon. Jax, even according to his own words in the Valley, he did not pay dime or $1 to open Jax's saloon, right? His business partners put up all the money, and they're doing the same thing with Brittany's that will be attached to Rocco's. And by the way, I've been to Jax's saloon. I've been to Schwartz and Sandy's. I'm sure I'll go to Brittany's at some point when it's open. And I don't know. There's not a good shelf life for any bar or restaurant, I guess anywhere nowadays. So it's a tough business. But yeah, they were like hidden away. There are so many excuses you could make for why this didn't work. But I will tell you, even with all of that stuff I just said, Sandoval at the end of the day did hurt this business. It's not entirely on Sandoval's shoulders, but it would be so great if he didn't do that in the first place, so that wasn't even a thought in anybody's mind. So you could just say, hey, it's hard after the pandemic. It's just not the bar scene that it used to be, and we chose a really weird location that a lot of people didn't know where we were actually located at. You could just blame it on that. But the scandal of it all, and this is what happens with these big mistakes we make in our lives, they follow you and they haunt you. And I hope Tom Sandoval is in therapy. I really, really hope it's more than just the scream therapy and the cold plunges and all of that noise that we saw last season. Yeah, but I was still kind of shocked to hear this. So let me know if you guys are going to go for one last hurrah at Schwartz and Sandy's. And I don't know, I will say something about her is doing amazing. I made a joke today. I said, you know what? Something about her, that would be a great second location where Schwartz and Sandy's is for something about her. It's a lot more space than what they currently have. I think something about her could crush it there. And by the way, I do think something about her is definitely going to franchise or at least have another location. I think that's a sure bet in Vegas. A little sandwich shop in like Caesar's Palace or next to Lisa Vanderpump's Vanderpump Paris. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. I mean, they have so many other different kind of bigger name or reality show themed things in Vegas. So I'm sure that's already in the works, if not almost ready, because I think that's potentially a no-brainer. And it's, I would imagine, way low overhead just serving sandwiches than having a full bar staff, all of that kind of noise. So, yeah, let's see. Some people had some reactions to this from their cast. Let me read you some of the comments. Hold on one sec. Here are some of the various comments, mainly on Tom Schwartz's. Kristen Doty wrote, "Love you, Tommy. So proud of you." Sheena wrote, "I'm really sorry to hear this. I know you gave this your absolute all, and you should be so proud of that. The place was beyond the coolest aesthetic in all of LA." Kyle Cook from Summer House, "But you're all something to be proud of. Sometimes the stars don't align and the journey is full of learning lessons, but the biggest regret of all would have been not trying in the first place. Hats off to you guys for putting your blood, sweat, and tears into something and actually running your own business where there's no risk, there's no reward. Love you, buddy." Brittany Cartwright wrote, "So sorry, Tom. We love you." Katie Maloney wrote, "I have an idea. It rhymes with Katie Maloney's Bar and Grill. Just kidding. I'm looking forward to what's next for you." And that was an obvious joke from Vanderpump Rules. Now, on Sandoval's post, his girlfriend Victoria Lee Robinson wrote, and Tom pinned this. It was a pinned comment on his Instagram. Said, "I'm so proud of you. If only you were allowed to properly promote the place on the show as planned. If only someone would have allowed you to have access to the shopping center sign that came with the property so people could see it as the place is in a hidden corner, which I tried to pay for and surprise you with multiple times, but was turned down. I mean, you guys don't even have control of your own Instagram. The list goes on and on. I felt bad from the beginning for the both of you. I love you and I'm here to support you always. Remember, people don't know what goes on behind closed doors and don't know all the facts. I love you." So that was Tom's current girlfriend and what she wrote in a very nice message. And Sandoval replied to that saying, "Thanks." I think he meant "thanks so much." "Thanks so, baby." And did the kind of like little like quivery eye emoji and a red heart. And then he wrote, "Loving, quote, lockdown with you." So I don't know if lockdown is when you just get a bunch of junk food and just lock yourself in a room. I don't even know what lockdown meant, but obviously they're spending a lot of time together. So there was a lot of reasons why Victoria thinks this didn't work. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to give Sandoval control of the Instagram after what happened. You don't, there are so many variables. I understand. Of course, a sign would have been nice. But the layout to the bar too, and I told you this at the time, the only thing I was worried about was that there was one main bar and there was like these kind of places you could sit and eat dinner. It's a lot smaller than it looked like on the show, way smaller than Sir. But the flow of traffic, it's just really hard, and especially on a weekend night when your main money is potentially going to come from those bar sales, it's a real hard place to maneuver. I mean, we think about that when we go in any bar or restaurant, right? You're kind of like, oh, the flow of this is really nice. The flow was really hard. There was nothing they could do about that for how it was set up, but they spent so much money overhead-wise and so much money, and we saw that on the show, of decorating that place and all of the stuff that they went through to make it their vision, that already it was potentially a losing battle, because it takes so many years for bars and restaurants to recoup their costs to begin with. So yeah, it just did not pan out. So we salute you. Well, I mean, I don't know if I really salute Schwartz and Sandy's, but I hope Tom Schwartz is going to land on his feet. So I mean, listen, I even hope, nobody wants this. I mean, people want it, but you know what I'm saying? There's no glee in any of this. And hopefully this can finally close a chapter of Sandoval in some way. But we'll never know. And also, shame on Vanderpump Rules for not having the cameras up so they could actually film the closing of this. And if anybody from Vanderpump Rules, the production, is listening right now, listen, get some B-roll footage of closing this place down. You'll be able to use this whenever the show goes back up. It's easy footage. So I hope that even if the show is not fully a go yet, somebody is investing a little B-roll footage to show us what goes down in the final moments of Schwartz and Sandy's. Okay, some good news here, you guys. Andy Cohen and former housewife Carol Five Good Summers Left Radziwill have, quote, reconnected after years-long fallout. Now, this is an exclusive from People Magazine by our friend Dave Quinn. He gets all of the exclusives, including the Johnny J. Alexis Bellino exclusives, but we'll not say anything more about that. People caught up with Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, host at Bravo Fan Fest, where he revealed that he and Carol Radziwill had squashed their beef. Andy said, Carol and I reconnected recently, actually. It feels great. Carol and I knew each other for years before she was ever on The Housewives. For many years, I think I've known her more outside of The Housewives than I have in The Housewives, so it was definitely good to reconnect. Cohen didn't offer any further information about his time with Radziwill, but the What Remains author, remember, she wrote that, no ghostwriter, tells people that she was glad she and Cohen were able to talk after 6 years. She says, we both came to understand that our disagreements had everything to do with the high-pressure nature of the show and very little to do with our friendship, which preceded it. Andy and I are very much on the same page now, and I'm happy about that. Guys, that is the Thanksgiving spirit right there. That's what it's all about. It's about family. It's about friends. It's about reconnecting with people that you might feel wronged by or that have wronged you. It is never too late. I mean, some people it is too late, but no, this made me feel so good. And Bethany Frankel, please, I'm begging you, do not insert yourself into this. Please, please, I beg you with everything that is holy in me. Do not try to comment on this. Do not make a TikTok about this. Do not, and especially don't do it with your mouth full of some sort of food that you're taste testing. I beg of you, let this be. Now, remember, this all kind of went sour because of Carol Radziwill's last season when Bethany was coming hard for Carol after being her friend for so many seasons, and Carol felt slighted by Andy, that Andy wasn't really properly sticking up for her, and Carol kind of called out Andy for it. I think we all remember those things, and it kind of, at that time, ended their friendship. So this makes me so happy. Will we ever see Carol Radziwill on TV again? I doubt it. I think Carol's doing just fantastic without it. Listen, Abe, if you're listening, we might want to get her on Roni next season. I mean, now that's somebody, that would be a surprise casting that I think she would actually fit in with these ladies. Remember, Carol was always kind of the younger one. I mean, you had Kelly Ben Simone, but the younger one with most of the other ladies, Ramona, Luann, Dorinda, all of that stuff. So I don't know. It would be interesting, even though I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell that she will ever do that. But I got to tell you, man, that story did really warm my heart, which just shows what a cold black heart I genuinely do have. Hopefully we'll find out more about this, but if not, I'm good with it. It's just good to know that they made up. And I think that's a good lesson for all of us. Okay, folks. Let's get to Abe Leashy right now. Remember, 15% off at Mezcalum. I'm going to put the website in the show notes. 15% off. The code is so good. Not so bad, because this is great. This is great mezcal. So good. 15% off with that code. I don't know how long that'll be for, so I know you might not be listening today. I know you're probably traveling. Hopefully you'll be listening to this at some point this week or next week. But I got to tell you, Abe is that guy, he's just one of those dudes where I'm like, oh, I want to hang out with this guy. I imagine so, and you can see it on the show. You can see like he has that impression on a lot of people where they're like, Abe's a cool dude, man. I want to hang out with that guy. But I want to hang out with that. I want Abe to be my lawyer one day. And I didn't get to ask him this in the interview, but I was kind of like pumped afterwards. And I was like, I kind of want him to be my life coach as well. And I don't think he can take me on because they have a baby on the way. They already have kids. They're dealing with so much, launching the mezcal, lawyer business, Roni, too much to be my life coach. But a podcaster can dream, because I think this is the kind of positive influence I need in my life. We've DM'd a couple of times since, just joking about jam band things, just passing around some Grateful Dead, some Fish memes. You know how it is. Just two bros doing it, man. But I just thought this was a great conversation. He's a classy dude. He doesn't get into the muck and the mire. I do ask him questions about Roni. He answers to the best of his ability. But I think this is a fascinating guy. I really do. And you get the sense when you talk to these reality, quote unquote, stars, is that they just really are real people. And I think that's what attracts us to them. And that's why when I was even talking about this season of Roni, I said, I loved that conversation with Abe and Aaron, even about the Bitcoin. I loved it because it felt like a real conversation. It didn't feel like a prank. It didn't feel like this. It felt like something that was actually true and natural and something very real because they have a very real relationship. And that, to me, is what attracts me to reality television. So, Abe, by the way, not a housewife. This isn't the Real Housewives of Abe Leachy, even though I think that would be an interesting show. But it was a great conversation. I hope you guys enjoy this. Now, if you're traveling today, good luck. Like I said on Monday, I'm with you. So Bad It's Good is with you. You've got the baddies with you. You can do this. Uncomfortable conversations with your parents. You got this. And I will talk to you probably on Wednesday. We'll still be doing the Beverly Hills recap this week. We'll still be doing the Salt Lake City recap this week. And of course, OC is no longer. We finished OC last week. Thank you for all your support. And remember to give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you remember. And go buy this mezcal, dude. 15% off. So bad. No, so good. So good. So good. Also, I kept calling it tequila instead of mezcal. I think it was going to kill me. It's mezcal, not tequila. I know that. I'm grown up. Jeez. I'm never going to run Schwartz and Sandy's. Okay, here he is. Abe Leachy. Bye, guys.